Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. There we go. Already we're live, and as you guys can tell by title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working with more machine learning. Last stream I did work over, let's say, regressions, where I did go over linear regressions and logistic regressions, and I also let's say installed, I forgot the name of the regression, but I think it was something like Scikit-Learn and all that stuff, which gave me access to the regression functions. That's it. Today I will be working more under the Scikit-Learn this category. Let's say for my phase 2 is machine learning this category. When I said Scikit-Learn, I meant Scikit-Learn was a subcategory, not a category. That said, let's go to my gameplay screen. There we go. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna try to be close to my mic as usual. And I really want to stream vertically as well, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, that's it. I will be also following a 25 to 5 this Pomodoro, and every 4 sessions of 25 minutes, I will be having a 15 minutes break. In my break, as usual, I will be playing some Wuthering Waves, but that really depends, because sometimes if I get bored of Wuthering Waves, I play something else, but by God, it's actually really good content, because through this one stream, I get a content from my this channel and my gaming channel as well, so I'll call it a win. That said, just gonna hydrate my lips real quick. Okay, and this is Claude's brand new chat, but before that, I'm gonna start the timer in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, this is Claude's new chat, so let's say something like, let's say I'm live exclamation, and I will be touch typing, and my mic is right in front of my screen. Like, I don't know if you guys can actually tell, but my screen is here and my mic is kept right here, so half of my vision goes onto my mic, and I need to like look to the left, look to the right. I said that because this is you guys the left and that is you guys the right. Totally not because I messed that up. But yeah, I gotta look to the left and to the right and to the left. Same thing to actually see what I'm typing. So that may be why I make some mistakes in this section of my window. That said, yeah, chat's rolling. Let's pick the logbook open. Last time you left off right before the payoff question, you had the laundry analogy in hand. Sorting by color versus white gives you 2 clean, obvious piles. Sorting has a pocket versus a no pocket. Okay. Gives you 2 messy piles where you still can't tell what's what. Here's where we left it hanging. Alright, hold on. Yo, hiding Philippa here. Appreciate you joining the stream. I think your streak kind of broke of asking me every single stream, but I'm gonna try to get this a bit in front because I want some kind of cushion for my back. My back is in its worst positions right now, practically begging me to lay back on something. Back, what's your name? You know what? I'll forget that you weren't here for the past few streams. Ask me that for the next, let's say, 20-ish more streams, or was it 19 or 20? Let's be safe and say 20 more streams, and then I'll type the name out. Or you know what, screw it. Ask me it for the next 19 more streams. Okay, that said, last time you left off right before the payoff question. You had the laundry analogy in hand. Okay, you have the laundry analogy in hand. Sorting by color versus white gives you 2 clean, obvious piles. Sorting by pocket versus no pocket gives you 2 messy piles where you still can't tell what's what. Here's where we left it hanging. A decision tree is about to pick its root node. The very first question it asks, it has a few candidate questions it could start with. Given what information gain means, the question that splits the data most cleanly, like the laundry example. Which kind of question does the tree pick as its root node? The one that splits messy or the one that splits clean? It was literally 7, was it? I need to actually fact check that because I probably need to have like a board or something that writes it off. But you know what? Um, I mean, if you agreed, I was gonna settle for like 17, but if you agreed for 19, why not? Okay, let's see. Wait, I'm trying to recall. I remember the laundry analogy from last stream. A decision tree is about to pick its root node. The very first question it asks. It has a few candidate questions it could start with. Given what information gain means, the question that splits the data most cleanly. Like the laundry example, which kind of question does that tree pick as its root node? The one that splits messy or the one that splits clean? Answer your own words. Walk me through why. Don't just name the answer. Okay, wait, let's say something like which kind of question does the tree pick as its root node? The one that splits messy or the one that splits clean? The wait, actually let me say the examples that I received yesterday were not that detailed because let's say I took it as a review before we worked on it today. Okay, therefore, can you name the topic and okay, can you name the topic and let's say explain it to me from scratch question mark? There we go, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. Okay, no shortcuts today, that's fine, that's honest, and it's exactly why we don't skip. Do you know this check? Better to say it now than fake our way through and have it collapse 3 questions from now. We're on decision trees, the first real topic under the classifications inside classic machine learning. Let's build it from the ground up. Actual code included, not just talk. The idea, a decision tree that makes a prediction by asking a chain of yes/no questions, one at a time until it lands on an answer. That's it. That's the whole concept. Think of it like the should I go outside example from before. Is it raining? Yes, stay inside. No. Is it below freezing? Yes, wear a coat. No, go outside. Each box asking a question is a node. Okay, so decision tree, the idea. So it keeps asking questions in hopes of getting a yes or no as its answer. Each box asking a node, the first one at the top is the root node, the final boxes that just spit out an answer with no question are leaf nodes. That vocabulary root branch, internal, leaf you already had solid last session. The part we paused on, how does the tree pick its questions? Here's the real problem. Say you're building a tree to sort laundry and you have a pile of clothes. You could ask, is it a color or white? Does it have a pocket? Is it cotton or polyester? The tree does not know in advance which question is useful, so it tries them and measures after I ask this question. How clean are the resulting piles by splitting the color versus by splitting hold up. After I ask this question, how clean are the results? Split by color versus, okay, the tree does not know. Is it a color or white? Does it have a pocket? Is it cotton or polyester? The tree doesn't know in advance which question is useful, so it tries them and measures after I ask this question. How clean are the result piles? Split by color versus white. One pile is all colors, one pile is all whites. Clean, no mixing. Split by pocket. Both piles have a random mess of colors and whiteness. Messy, that question told you almost nothing. The tree calls the measurement information gain. Okay, wait, the tree calls that measurement information gain. There we go. Literally, how much did this question reduce the mess? The question that gives the cleanest split wins, and that question becomes the root node the first question asked. Now, the question again with the full explanation behind you. Given that step, does the tree pick the question that splits the data cleanly, like color versus white, or the question that splits it messily, like has a pocket or has a pocket to be its root node? Okay, let me say something like it splits, SPLITS, it splits the data cleanly. Uh, I just know the answer and that I cannot explain why because I do not understand the topic well enough to explain it. Okay, I'll go with something like, however, the topic is not hard to understand. I just did not understand the it in a way. There we go. That would have me explain it to you. There we go, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and let's say send it. Okay, good. That's real self-awareness. It's not an excuse. You know the answer, but you can't yet trace the wire from why to what. That's a completely normal gap and it's fixable in about 2 minutes. Let's close it right now. Let's slow way down and rebuild the reasoning piece by piece using the laundry pile. Step 1. Imagine you have 10 pieces of laundry, 5 colors, 5 whites. Before you ask any question, your pile is a totally random mix. That's your starting mess. Step 2. You ask, is it a color or white? This sorts the pile perfectly into 2 piles. Pile A is 5 colors and only colors. Okay, pile B is whites and only whites. Now, here's the question I want you to sit with. If I handed you one random item from pile A, would it already know something about it before even looking at it? It would, because let's go with something like, because we separated it. Did I not spell separate correct? S-E-P-E-R-A-T-E-D. S-E-O separated. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah. R-A-T-E-D rated. And sepal. Okay. It would because we separated the pile of, let's say, colors by the pile of whites. There we go, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. Okay, you're circling it. Let's nail down the actual mechanism before that word. Okay, I forgot to say, I did get some oats with me, but I'm gonna eat it later on when I'm starving, because today I was planning to have a long-ass stream. Okay, if I hand you a random item from pile A, you already know, with 0 doubt, that it's a color, not probably, not maybe, you know 100% before you even look at it, because that's all that's in play. That's why what clean means, that's what clean means. A clean split means knowing which pile something landed in tells you something for certain. Now compare that to the pocket split. Pile A has pocket mix of colors and whites. B has no pockets mix of colors and whites. If I hand you a random item from pile A here, do you know if it's a color or white? No one could be, no, could be either. Knowing which pile, it's told you nothing about the color. The question is useless for that purpose. So here's the actual definition. Plain. Information gain equals to how much more you know about something after a split compared to before the split. Color slash white. Split, you go from I have no idea to I know for certain, huge information gain. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. It's split, you go from I have no idea to I still have no idea. Zero information gain. The trees test every possible question, calculates the information gain for each one, and picks whichever question gains the most information. Because that's the question that tells you the most fastest. That's why it becomes the root node. It's the most useful first question you could probably ask. Now, in your own words, no repeating mine back. Why does more information gain make a question a better choice for the tree to ask first? Um, okay, why does more information gain? Because it would have more, let's say more, not gain, it would have more knowledge, KNOWLEDGE. It would have more knowledge to work with. Okay, I did not understand the question. I know the topic. Close, but let's sharpen that. More knowledge to work with is a little vague, and I want um, you to own the precise version, not a soft paraphrase. It's not that the tree has more knowledge sitting around to use later. It's this, the highest information gain question gets you a confident answer. Oh. Highest information gain question gets you a confident answer in the fewest steps. Think back about it practically. If your very first question already sorts things into a definitely color and definitely whites, you might be done after one question. But if you ask the pocket question first, which tells you nothing, you've wasted a step. You still have to keep asking more questions afterward. Just untangle what the first question failed to sort. So the real reason the tree picks the highest information gain question first in the efficiency. Ask the most useful question first, so every question after it is working with an already cleaner, more sorted pile instead of wasting the first question into something that barely narrowed anything down. Okay, quick gut check. One sentence in your own words. Why is it a waste to ask pocket question first before the color question? Because it uses more steps and wastes precious time and resources. Okay, why is it that I understand the topic but I can't freaking phrase it? Yes, that's it. That's the real answer, and you said it yourself this time, not me. That's decision trees. Root hyphen node selection fully closed. Tree tests every possible question, measures information gain, how much more certainly you become after the split, picks the question with the highest information gain as the root because starting with the most useful question means fewer total questions needed to reach a confident answer. Waste avoided, efficiency gained. And hold on, let me just hear myself real quick. I want to make sure that my voice is kind of what's the word for it? Kind of strong, clear. There we go. What if I get a bit lower? Okay, why do I feel like my voice crushed? Should I go a bit more away? Or do I need to get closer? I think if I'm closer, this kind of breaks my voice, right? What if I decrease my mic a little? What if I increase it? Increase it. The mic was the issue. Wait, hold on. The mic was the issue all along. I had it too high. How's that? Do I just speak from back? like I can lay back, chill off, and speak real loud. But if I come closer, this is how I speak. It's actually, oh, and is that like a freaking bald spot? Hold up. Or is it just interesting? Wait a damn minute, what the hell was that? I'm gonna go to my main camera. Is it just my headphone dent? Because I am positive there's 0 bald spots here. Well, I guess I got a bald spot. Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke. I clearly don't see anything. That's probably because my headphones is like pulling my hair on so you guys see my scalp. Okay, that's it. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go to my gameplay screen again. I don't want to waste any much time here. But I think I got a gist of it. I'm gonna go a bit back and like yell and speak a little bit higher, so or a little bit louder, so my voice is a bit clearer. That said, because starting with the most useful question means fewer total guesses needed to reach a confident guess. What if I go this way? Does that like do I need to like bend my freaking neck to every time talk that way, or nah? Is it good? Well, I'm gonna just fact check myself. Hearing myself speak this way. I think this is actually better if I speak like this. There is some voice crashes, but if I speak this way, if I get this here. Okay, if I speak this way, what if I speak from here and from here? That looks like I'm behind. I am. What if I speak from the tip? Okay, there we go. I'm above it. This is, I think, worse. The best alternative looks here. Oh, that was perfect. It had some voice crashes. Still does. Okay, it does not when I speak from a bit away, so I'm just gonna keep it here, to be honest. And just rotate it this way. There we go. Okay, and as long as I yell at the top of my lungs, we're good. Alright, so, next up. Because starting with the most useful question means fewer total questions needed to reach a confident answer. Waste avoided, efficiency gained, vocabulary, the should I go outside, note structure, the laundry information gained, reasoning, all locked in now. Actually explained, not just recalled. Next up, we take this from plain English theory into real decision tree classifier code. Okay, I was just gonna ask Claude that, wait, wasn't there any manual stuff that I had to do, like programming? Here we go. Okay, classifier code. Building an actual tree, feeding it real data, and watching it pick its own root node for real. Quick check before we move. Have you ever used decision tree classifier from Scikit-Learn before, even briefly? I have not. This is actually so much better for me to even look at my freaking screen every single time. There we go. Okay, good. Expected and exactly what we asked every time instead of assuming. Let's build this from zero code. Right now, setting up the data, just like linear slash logistic regressions, Scikit-Learn needs your data in 2 parts. X, the question features, okay, 2-dimensional of list, yada yada. You already know this rule from linear regressions. Y, the actual answer slash label for each row. Let's use something, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, setting up the data, just like linear slash logistic regression, Scikit-Learn needs your data in 2 parts. X, the question slash feature. 2D lists of lists, you already know this rule from linear regression. Yep, I do know that. Y, the actual answer slash label for each row. Let's use something simple and physical. Predicting whether someone plays outside based on weather and temperature. Say we encode it like this. Sunny equals to 1, rainy equals to 0. For weather and temperature in actual degrees. So I go with from Scikit-Learn.tree. Wait, last I worked with Scikit-Learn, I think I went with model underscore wait, what was that thing that I went with? Hold on, I'm gonna open my Visual Studio Code real quick. I am pretty sure that I went with, oh yeah, I kind of uploaded my phase 1 into my freaking GitHub, so you guys can actually get access to it now. There we go, linear underscore model. That's it. But here we go with sklearn.tree instead of linear model. So from sk.tree, I want to import decision tree classifier title case. Features weather 1 equals to sunny, 0 equals to rainy, and temperature. X equals to a list of lists, specifically 5 lists. Each list requires X and Z as a parameter. Okay. And then we go with the labels, which is 1 equals to played outside, 0 equals to stayed inside. Y is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So played outside, stayed inside, stayed inside, stayed inside, played outside. Okay, the actual model. So model equals to decision tree classifier, the function that we included here. Model.fit. Fit performs a gradient descent, which I need to fact check for this, but every time I worked with fit, it performs gradient descent. That gives me my answers. That's it, 2 lines. Decision tree classifier builds an empty tree. .fit is where it actually does the work we just talked about. Testing every possible question against X. Calculating information against X and picking the root node itself. Before you run this, before you run anything, prediction time. Look at the data closely. Given the pattern in Y, which feature do you think the tree will pick as its root node question, weather or temperature? Walk through your reasoning using the data itself, not a guess. Okay, predict. Which feature do you think the tree will pick as its root node question, weather or temperature? Root node. Walk through the reasoning. So I'm pretty sure the root node is supposed to be X. Okay, the root node is alright guys, hands up anything that is not distracting. Let's play some Wuthering Waves. It's our break here. I'm gonna on my desktop audio so you guys can hear what I'm doing, and let's move on. Okay, last stream I did stop right here where
languid. Where will
I was
the wind take?
There we go. Where I was expected to follow Miyu towards the western Fang Peaks. So I guess let's follow him.
Speeding up.
Wow! Oh my! Wait, that was the first time I used a freaking motorbike.
The fortress has been abandoned. No auto puppets to concern us. I will lead the way.
Yes, thank you.
It'd be much appreciated. Enter the Yang Fortress ruins. Alright. Okay, and guys, that was the first most anticlimactic way of me riding a motorbike, which I did not even realize until I tried it. Okay, follow Miyu. Can I not run?
These are traces of the Fortress and Gorge's war.
Correct. When that war erupted, tacit discord swept into Xuanfang. The main battlefield was this fortress, built by Meng Zhou in earlier days against these monsters.
Interesting.
There are symbols on the mechanisms.
The construction was overseen by both the Ministry of Development and Zhuo Jun Atelier's Grand Helm. It would be strange if the Atelier's marks were not here.
The Yuan Fortress battlefield. Even after all these years, it still feels so.
At the time, the tide of tacit discords swelled the land.
What the
Meng
hell?
Zhou's sentinel, Sheen the Moonfall, concluded that the fortress alone would not withstand.
Why am I
onslaught.
fighting with a freaking narrator point of
Turned the
view?
powers beyond
Not a narrator,
mortal understanding. With the authority of her station, she
what's it called?
raised Xuanfang Hold atop the ruins of Yuan Fortress.
Damn, I can
It
run.
was meant to be the apex of automata mechanics. Once complete, as the Sentinel envisioned, its very architecture would redirect and eliminate tacit discords. A mechanism so vast, so intricate, so perfectly ordered that no mortal hand could ever hope to build it.
I feel...
Unfortunately, Overthrax launched its...
They were
I said I want to talk.
using themselves as bait, luring tacit discords into the censure cages.
Off I go.
Against a tacit discord outbreak, the forces stationed in the fortress
We're just
and
having a
Ateliers
stroll.
blade puppets were little more than straw and mud.
And yet, because of them, so many others were spared.
I'll fight him. Why does it feel like
Damage
I'm like a
isn't
drone?
just from tacit discords. It looks more like some kind of explosion.
Oh
And
wow.
it seems you do not know how the fortress and Gorge's war truly ended. That is to be expected.
That looks
Even now,
volcanic and
to most of
radioactive.
Mangzhou, it is little more than a memory of suffering. When they realized that no amount of human effort could ever drive back the tacit discords, when every hope was exhausted, every option spent, Mengzhou's last defenders detonated the entire Yuan fortress.
Alright, we're getting some sort of Amber Alert or like alarm. Oh, it's not. Wait,
After
was that?
a higher will descended upon Zhuanfang and brought that gruesome war to an end.
Wait, I thought something freaking exploded. Hello? Is everyone okay? Oh. Is she confused Yang Yang? You guys see what I mean? Yang Yang confused the frick out of me. Last time it looked like she's let's say doing something for Will, but mostly she's always in her imagination. She sees foresight. Like damn, it looks cool though.
No, this isn't right. What went wrong? Weapons? Mobility? Or is it... Oh!
Yeah, let's go.
Damn you. That's it.
Alright, that's it. Hands off anything that is distracting. I don't want you guys to see this whatchamacallit. I don't want you guys to miss this part. I'll watch it with you guys.
What is this? How fascinating. The most uncontrollable part of a person, remade
I
into the
cannot
stepping stone
skip
toward
this.
perfection.
Oh god.
Is that not putting it to its best use?
I'm gonna restart the timer once this is over actually. I just want a break point. Come on, let's have a
What
break
is it,
point.
young lady?
There we go.
The
Alright, hands up,
Starworks
hands
lies
up, hands
just
up.
ahead. We may soon learn the reason for the Auto Puppets' rebellion.
There we go. Oh god, the worst part is I can't even cancel the freaking thing when a good cutscene is going on. That just feels like a disrespectful. Okay, I won't reset it. I'll leave it at 23 minutes actually. But hands off anything that is distracting. When my break time comes, I will be spending an extra... Nah, let's forget I spend extra time here because it gets really hectic when I'm actually editing that stuff. Okay, that said, the root node. Okay, the question is, given the pattern, which feature do you think the tree will pick as its root node question? Weather or temperature? The root node is supposed to pick, let's say, the weather as, not weather, the WEATHER. Okay, the root node is supposed to pick the weather as its, which feature? The feature is supposed to be root node. Okay, the feature is supposed to pick weather as its root node. As its... Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's root node, there we go. Because that has the most information. However, it was a guess. Could you explain it to me again, question mark, again using a real world analogy, question mark, or not real world analogy. Could you explain it to me again, question mark? I do understand. Okay, let me try typing a bit faster now. I do understand. Let's go with something like, I do understand what is the decision tree supposed to do. However, there we go. However, what I do not get is, why do we have the .fit method used here? Because the fit method is in charge of calculating, let's say the gradient, Gradient, I spelled this absolutely wrong. It's in charge of calculating the gradient descent. However, for let's go with something like whereas for the decision tree, we are relying on, let's say, educated guesses and the closest and best answer. Okay, I think that was pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and send it. Here's the thing, it gets really hard to phrase this freaking stuff after you just played a match of, let's say, Wuthering Waves. Two separate things tangled together, let's pull them apart, because you're mixing a fact from logistic reasoning into a place it doesn't belong. It's actually really useful to catch this. It's really useful catch to make explicit. There we go. First, .fit isn't the gradient descent method. That's too narrow. .fit just means do whatever training process the specific model needs. There we go. That was the thing. I used to think that if I am going to be performing gradient descent like how I did in logistic reasoning and logistic regressions and linear regressions, I thought the .fit method's name was kind of awkward, because if I wanted to really find the gradient descent, why did I not use a .gradient descent method, and why was the method called .fit? This makes so much sense because it does whatever training process the specific model needs, using the x and y I gave it. What happens inside .fit is completely different depending on the model. Linear regression fit does math to find a best slope and intercept. Logistic regressions is fit uses gradient descent to find the best coefficients. Decision trees .fit method does not use gradient descent at all. It does exactly what we just walked through by hand. It tries every possible question and calculates information gain for each pick the best one as root, then repeats that process for the next question and the next. Same method name fit, but the engine underneath is totally different per model. That's on you to know. That's on you to just know going forward. .fit equals training yourself using x and y, not run gradient descent. Gradient descent was a logistic regression specific detail and not a universal one. You said you're reasoning back to the actual data. Second, you're reasoning back to the actual data. You said whether, because it has the most information, let's check that against the real row. Weather 1 sunny, temperature 75, played. Weather 0 rainy, temperature 60, stayed. Weather 1, temperature 50, stayed. Weather 0, temperature 40, stayed. Weather 1, sunny, temperature 80, played. So 0 is rainy, 1 is sunny. Okay, so all the rainy temperatures we stayed, and a temperature 50 we stayed as well. Try splitting by weather alone. Group the rows by whether equals 1 versus whether equals 0 and tell me with each group are the Y labels all the same or mixed? Okay. Yo, Hiding Pixel, appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so try splitting by whether alone. Group by the row. Okay, group the rows by whether equals to 1 versus whether equals to 0 and tell me with each group are the Y labels all the same? Okay, wait, Y is, let's say whether the Y label and not the X label to begin with. Okay, I am trying to understand the way you decide. I'm trying to understand the way you decide what is supposed to be Y and what is supposed to be, let's say, X. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. I wonder if I should try the microphone option here. Good question to stop and pin down. This is foundational and it's worth getting tied before we go further because it applies to every model, not just this one. Y is never the feature. Ouch. Oh, the hell. Okay, Y is never the feature you're splitting on. Y is always the answer you're trying to predict, okay? Look back at the setup. Features. Features is whether one sunny, yada yada, okay, and then labels. Played outside, played inside. Here, Y is played outside or not. That's the whole thing we don't know yet. And want the model to figure out whether is never Y. Whether is one of the inputs we already know sitting inside X that we're using to try to predict Y. Okay, that makes sense. So we're using whether's only the inputs. Hold on. So apparently these are the inputs that we're using to predict this. Oh, okay. I see. Same rules as linear regression. Remember square feet was X. Known given. Price was Y. The unknown we predicted. Same shape. Same shape here, okay? Hold on. Okay, X equals to the clues weather temperature. Okay, clues weather temperature, things you already know before asking the question. Y equals to the outcome, played outside or not, the thing you're trying to figure out. The tree's whole job is to look at the clues in X and figure out which one of them best predicts Y. So when I asked, will the tree pick weather or temperature as root, it was asking which column of X best predicts Y. Weather itself is never a Y value. It's a candidate question being tested against Y. Wait, gut check. Does that distinction make sense now? X equals to the known inputs, Y equals to the unknown outcomes. Okay. You're predicting answer honestly, and if yes, I'll send back. I see. However, I did have one more question. Why do we give our predictions? Okay, for Y, we added a bunch of, let's say, ones and zeros. should that not appear to us automatically? Okay, because when working with AIs, for example, um, there is no person in charge, let's say, of reading our conversation or reading my chats and predicting what is it that you should reply back to me. There we go. Does that make sense? Yo, guys, does that make sense actually? Interesting question. Let's see. Wow, Claude is thinking. I made some notes while Claude really thinks more. Oh, a lot of cinnamon. What the hell? Okay, a real question, and it's actually a big one. You just bumped into the difference between training a model and using a trained model. Let's separate those two phases clearly, because right now they're blended in your head. Phase 1. Using a trained model. Let's separate two phases cleanly. Because right now, okay, phase 1, training what we're doing with .fit. Phase 1 is training what we're doing with .fit. Someone has to give the model examples it can learn from. Real past cases where we already know the answer. That's what Y is here. Those ones and zeros are not guesses, they're historical facts. Like last Tuesday, it was sunny and 75 degrees Celsius. And the kid actually did play outside. Wait, 75. Oh god, my bad. 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And the kid actually did play outside. That's a fact recorded. It already happened. You're not predicting those. You're reporting what really happened. So the model has real answers. So the model has real answered examples to learn the pattern from. That's the whole idea of training data. A pile of already known questions / answer pairs. Phase 2, predicting what happens after training. Once .fit is done and the tree has learned the pattern, then you give it a new row where you genuinely don't know the answer and you call .predict, and now the model guesses for you. Sunny, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, unknown case, now it guesses. Alright, I think the guess would be yes, because in 75 degrees Celsius and sunny we went out and played. Okay, let's see, hold on, I'm just gonna stretch my legs real quick. I just kicked my RGB light. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now, your Claude comparison, actually a great one. When you talk to me, I already went through my version of training. I was trained on a massive pile of already known text where the answer was already there. Nobody manually feeding me labels in real time during our chat. Your current message to me is like the predict step. I'm using the pattern I already learned to generate a response. I'm not learning from you. I'm not learning from you live the way Fit learns. Huh. Okay, so y in the training data equals to facts you already know happened, not predictions. Dot predict on new data equals to the actual guessing part. Does that split known fact to learn from versus new guesses made a after make sense? Okay, I see. Does that split known facts to learn from versus new guesses made after make sense? Okay, if yes, let's go back to the actual split data question. It does. However, my model will not be able to predict anything, PREDICT, predict anything because we did not create something like a history system where it can go back and check the past conversation. Wait, actually, I think we did it. However, I believe that the x variable that we created acts as that history, right? Because it has data in it, and the data is the real human input. While the y variable has predictions. The one thing that I did not understand about the predictions, that I did not understand about the prediction, is that how would the model know that it is trained without having a history, or being able to review, let's say, past conversations? Okay, how is a model going to be able to do that and review that stuff without past conversations? And if they do have history when training models, does our x variable not act as that history, but just with limited resources because we are only practicing? Or is this too advanced for me right now, and that I should not worry about this for the time being? And then I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Oh god, that was so long. Oh my freaking god, what the hell? Okay, well, question, not too advanced. Let's untangle it because you're actually very close, just missing one piece that connects it all. You're right about X mostly. X is the history. You nailed that part. Those 5 rows are 5 real past days that already happened. That's the memory the model learns from. No disagreement there. Here's the piece you're missing. X alone isn't enough. It needs Y sitting right next to it. X by itself is just, here's what the weather was on 5 days. That tells the model nothing on its own. The model only learned something because each row of X has a matching row in Y beside it. Okay. Sunny, temperature. Played, yes. What happened? The condition. X equals to what happened, Y equals to what the outcome was. Okay, so we actually set the Y manually for this. For the same exact day, it's not 2 separate histories, it's 1 history in 2 matched columns. X at index of 0 and Y at index of 0 describes the same real day. X at index of 1 and Y at index of 1 describes the same next real day, and so on. That's where the entire thing .fit learns from. When conditions look like this, the outcome was that. Now, your does model have history question directly. Once .fit finishes the tree, doesn't keep wait, once dot fit finishes the tree does not keep replaying those 5 days in the head every time you ask it something. It extracts a rule from them like sunny play, rainy stay, and throws away the individual memories. When you call predict later, it's not looking anything up, it's applying the rule it already boiled down. Oh, okay, I see. That's actually exactly how I work too. I'm not searching a history transcript of every book I trained on. I learned patterns from it. Then the raw data was left behind. The rule survives, the history does not. One more time, plain and short. Does pairing x at index of I and y at index of I? Does the pairing x at index of I and y at index of I are the same real days? Not two separate histories. Make sense now? Oh, now I understand. There we go. Okay, that makes so much more sense. That's the sign I was waiting for. Fire. That's not small. You just closed that. That actual foundation under every supervised model you touched from here on forward. X and Y as a matched pair, not two separate piles. Lock that in. It doesn't leave. Alright, three side questions deep. All worth it. All closed clean. Let's get back to where we actually were. Back to the real question, the split itself. Here's your data. Split the rows into two groups by weather. Ignore temperature completely for a second. Group weather 1 sunny. Which row and what are the Y labels? Group weather equals 0 rainy. Which rows and what are the Y labels? So, sunny is 1, so let's go with something like, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this and then say, played, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paste the sunny again and say something like stayed. And then I'm gonna go with my third one of weather equals to 1. And then I'm gonna go with played. Alright, that's time. Hands off anything that is not distracting. Moving on back to Wuthering Waves. Move the... Oh god, I wanna complete the... Forget. Okay, so this is where we stopped last time. Let's go ahead and hit F.
Your right eye.
This eye? Pay it no mind. An old wound left by a tacit discord years ago. Nothing more.
This encounter, was it during the Fortress and Gorges War?
Oh? I knew it, he was fishy.
Interesting. You couldn't have known me before. And no one alive in Xuanfang knows the particulars of my past.
When people speak, they always try, without knowing, to hide what they leave unsaid. Unfortunately, I'm very good at seeing it.
Oh.
Alright, the rat's off the bag.
Ability. So then, I assume you saw something in that Sonoro, didn't you?
200 years ago, you were with Georgian Atelier.
Giorgio Natalier. Even now, the name elicits a certain fondness. A so-called gathering of geniuses, eccentrics, and madmen. Sophisticated nursery.
Did you guys know a fun fact? Gather geniuses, they're not gonna get squat done.
In the eyes of a higher will, what difference is there between the wisest human beings and the cleverest colony of ants?
Uh,
The destination lies plainly within sight, and yet the Sentinel only watches from her lofty perch as the ants line up and march in circles. Meaningless circles. Fire has burned in this world so long, the world has forgotten how the fire began. The first flame was stolen from the gods by none other than human hands.
I'm gonna get the timer there. Oh, am I gonna get ambushed by tacit discards again?
You're the one behind all of this.
I'm not behind anything. Please do not demote me into one of those dull schemers. The sort you've likely heard of. The Fraxidus.
No way. It's him?
I am simply finishing a research project. To do that, one requires experiments for supporting evidence.
You can save that speech for the Ministry of War.
Was he the mastermind behind the Fraxidus?
I am a man who values efficiency. To waste even 1 second on anyone or anything unrelated to my purpose would already be excessive. I only revealed myself to you here because I determined it was necessary.
Am I gonna have to, like, fight or something?
You lavish so much attention on others, and so remain stubbornly blind to your own nature. Pitiful. The way you live is no different from burning a chine for kindling and boiling a crane for broth.
Alright, something's on with his eyes.
I can sense it.
I
The
can sense
reverberations formed from your frequency are the perfect medium.
The
The one I have
reverberation.
long sought. 100. No. 1,000 ordinary reverberations could not compare to you.
Alright, I've got one question here. What in the world does reverberation even mean? Okay, I'm so scared to hit the play button again because I've got 10 seconds left in my timer, so I think I'm gonna start. I'll probably waste them 10 seconds here because I do not want to stop in another cutscene. That's at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands off anything that is distracting. Moving on, back to work. Get back to work, y'all. Get back to work. Okay, that's it. Let's see. So, I picked my weathers. Now I'm gonna go with my sunny row. So, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say copy weather equals to 0. We are ignoring the temperature for now. Weather equals to 0. We stayed. Let's go with STAYED. Heather. Let's just add a W here. There we go, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and copy that equals to sign as well, and then we're gonna go ahead and paste it again. Weather equals to 0 for the second one was gonna be stayed as well, wow. And in total there are 5, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's say send this. Good, you correctly pulled and grouped the raw rows, that part's right, but look closely at what you just wrote, group weather 1, because the answer to my question is sitting there and I don't think you've clocked it yet. Group weather equals to 1 sunny, played, stayed, played. Is that group all the same label or a mixed? Group weather equals to 0. Stayed. Is that group all the same label or mixed? Answer both, one word each. Mixed. Same. And one question. Wait, actually, the and doesn't make sense here. Conjunction would not make sense here. One question, is the label the prediction? Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and let's say send it. Question, answer to your question, quick answer to your question first, since it's a fast one. No, label and prediction are not the same. Y values, play/state, are called the labels. Aren't the Y values the freaking predictions too? When they're real known already happen answers in your training data. A prediction is only what model spits out after training when it's guessing on a new stuff. Okay, so Label is already spat out answers, while prediction is the answers that the model will spit out. Okay, I'm on a new roll, it's never seen, same value, okay. Now, big catch on your split weather equals to 1 sunny, played, stayed, played, mixed. Weather equals to 0, rainy, stayed, same. So, splitting by weather is only partly correct. Rainy is perfectly sorted, but sunny is a mixed mess of played slash stayed. That's not a perfect information gain. Split out like color slash white laundry example was. Do the same test for temperature. Look at the 5 rows sorted by temperatures. 40 stayed, 50 stayed, 60 stayed, 75 played, 80 played. If the tree splits at, say, is temperature above 60, group everything less than 60 together and everything greater than 60 together. Within each of those two groups, are the label all the same or still mixed? Stayed, played, stayed, played, mixed. They're different. From the order of labels when I separated them by, let's say, zeros and ones, if that made any sense. Oh god. The hell separated? Am I losing something? I heard that something feels different, but different from the different from the order isn't quite landing the actual comparison I need. Let's slow down and do it very literally, step by step, so we're both looking at the exact same thing. Here are your 5 rows sorted by temperature, low to high. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I stayed home. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I stayed home. 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I stayed home. 75 degrees Fahrenheit, I went out and I played. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, I went out and I played. Now split them at is temperature above 60. Stayed, played. Group A, temperature less than 60. Rows with 40, 50, 60. Label stayed. Group B, greater than 60. Rows with temperature 75 and 80. Played. Just confirm this back to me plainly. No comparisons to the weather split yet. Within group A, are all the labels the same or mixed? Within group B, are the same? All the labels are same for both groups. Exactly right. And now watch what that actually means, because this is the whole payoff. Weather split. Rainy equals to clean. Same. Sunny, still mixed, partially clean. Temperature at 60, group A. Clean. Group B, clean. Perfectly clean. Clean both sides. Oh, I see. Temperature gives a 100% clean split. Weather only 50% clean split. One side still has a mass mystery to solve. Go back to your very first prediction. You guessed weather as the root node. Now that you've actually tasted both against the real data, instead of guessing which one has the higher information gain, whether the temperature, and therefore which one will decision tree classifier actually pick. Oh my gosh, I see where this went. You were basically trying to teach me how does the computer, how does the machine, or how does the decision tree classifier pick what question to ask based on what prediction it is expected to give, and it will choose the best question. Okay, now to answer the question, so go back, whether, okay. Okay, now to answer your question, the decision tree classifier is going to pick based on the temperature, because it gets a clean hyphen same answer from both rows, from both groups, while the weather gives a clean slash gives, let's say, mixed answers, gives mixed labels. This is going to be labels. There we go, and then let's just go ahead and send it. What the hell, guys? Okay, I think that made so much sense. Yes, that's it. 2 fires this time. That's not just the right answer. That's you explaining the entire mechanism back to me, unprompted in your own words. That's the difference between knowing an answer and actually understanding it. And 10 minutes ago, you couldn't do this. Now you just did. Temperature wins the root node because it gets a perfectly clean split on both sides. Zero mixing, maximum information gain, weather loses because Sunny stays mixed. It didn't fully answer the question. Now let's confirm it for real. Run this on your machine. From Scikit-Learn.tree, I want to import decision tree classifier. X is going to be consisting of a bunch of human input. Y is going to be consisting of a bunch of predictions that I'm giving to my model. Model.decision tree, model.fit xy. From, what the hell? From sklearn.tree, I want to import export underscore tree, print export underscore tree. My model variable goes here. Feature name, weather temp. That last line, export underscore tree, is new syntax. It prints the actual tree structure in plain text so you can see what question it picked as a root straight from the model itself. No guessing needed. Run it and send me back your real terminal output. Let's see if the model agrees with your reasoning. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say open Visual Studio Code. Then I wonder why is everything here green? Because I did sort of try to export stuff into my Visual Studio Code. I mean my GitHub. So wait, give me a quick second. I'm gonna try get rid of that stuff real quick. Hold on a damn minute. I'm gonna go up here. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab Claude back up here. I am going to grab this Claude here, and then I'm gonna paste it and say, okay, everything is done. However, why is my files green? Oh, hold up. Good question. That green problem is in yada yada. This is not something I need to read. You untracked, okay. I do not want it to be green if that's possible. I have already committed my phase 1 to my GitHub. I messed my typo, hold on. 2 different situations. Phase 1 showing green, git status. Oh god. Yeah, I just want to do this real quick. It's better than kicking my OCD out. Good news, the important phase 1 part is listed. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for the terminal. Notepad. Replace its contents with this. Wait, here's how to make the exploder. Update your .gitignore to tell it to stop watching these. PowerShell. Replace its contents with this. Wait. Should I run that in my terminal? Alright, it's gonna open Notepad, right? I'm pretty sure that I've worked with this before. Alright, okay. There we go, and then we're gonna replace its contents with this. Okay, and then once I'm done with that, we're gonna go with save and then run this. Save and close and run this. Update gitignore phase 2 in progress working. Okay, and then Control S. How do you save that stuff? Did I just paste it here? Oh wow, they're all gone. Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just want to do that real quick because I cannot work with those green things. Perfect, done. Thank you. Oh god, there we go. Okay, now moving on. I'm just gonna hear the welcome real quick. You're all set, alright. Okay, back to Visual Studio Code. So, first things first, I'm gonna go ahead, we're working with decision tree classifiers, right? Therefore, I'm gonna go ahead and create a Python file called it's DECISION CLSSIFIER. There we go, .py. Just to save some time, I'm gonna copy this. Okay, and then once we're done with that stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say run the program. First things first, I'm gonna go with something like from Scikit-Learn .tree, LEARN. I want to go ahead and import, let me say the DECISION. I want to import decision tree classifier, CLASSIFIER. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create an X variable and set that variable equal to a list of lists, where my first list is going to be 1 and 75. Where 1 means it's... What did 1 mean again? Okay, 1 means it's sunny and 0 means it's rainy. 1 equals to sunny. And let's say 0 equals to rainy. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with my second list, which is gonna be, let's say, you know what's great? I'm just gonna copy this. Yeah, I'm just copying this to like save some time because I can literally type this out. And then next up, we're gonna go with something like a y variable that is gonna be a list of our predictions. So is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Now, this is where our model stuff comes. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a models variable that is gonna be equal to my decision tree classifier. Okay, and I know this part because I worked with it yesterday. And then prediction. That is going to be equal to my model.fit. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if my prediction variable is correct. Nope, apparently I did not store the stuff in a variable. I don't know why, but I'll store it because why not? I'm gonna go with something like x and y. Okay, and then we're gonna add another import statement. This is something that I have not worked with. I'm gonna go with something like from Scikit-Learn dot tree. We stay in our dot tree. Wait, I don't need to do that. I could just go with export tree. Export underscore text is function, not tree. Okay, and then down here, all I'm gonna go ahead and do is print. This is what I want to do. I'll go with print prediction, because there is no downside to it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say print export underscore text is function that requires a parameter of my model, which is going to be my decision tree, and then feature underscore names that is going to be equal to a list of weather, and it's going to be temp. Okay, and then we're going to hit Control S to save the code. I'm going to go with Control / to get my terminal here, and I'm going to change my directory to Scikit-Learn. And then once I'm in this, I'm going to go with something like py. I'm going to manually run my file. Py decision decission underscore decision tree classifier dot py. Now we're going to wait for this to run. I'll probably eat some oats while it's running. My bad. I'm gonna copy that stuff again. Okay, so decision tree classifier. I'm assuming that's our model.fit, right? Just to confirm that, I'm gonna add another print statement. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and let's say run it again. Okay, so our prediction says decision tree classifier. It does not specifically predict anything. However, our export underscore text model feature name weather temp does say temp is 67.50 and 6. Okay, I did not understand the output. I'm gonna copy that, grab Claude here and say output code. Okay, prediction I did not expect to get what I got with my prediction here, so I'm gonna copy that, grab Claude here again, and then we're gonna paste it and say something like, I did not expect to get what I got with my when I print my what I got when I printed my prediction out. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and send it. Confirmed straight from the model, not guessing. Look at that, output is less than or equal to 67.50 is the root node. Not whether real proof your reasoning matches the machine. Two things to clean up here, both good catches on your part. Why print prediction gave you a weird output? You wrote prediction equals to model.fit. But remember what we said earlier, .fit is the training step, not the predicting step. It doesn't return a prediction, it returns the model itself. Now trained. That's why print prediction just showed decision tree classifier. You are printing the model object, not a prediction. Nothing broke. That variable name was just misleading you into expecting something it was never doing. It gave you .fit. It gave you .fit trains and hands the model back to you. .predict. Oh, predict. I use prediction is the one that actually gives you a guess. Read the actual tree output with me. Temp less than or equal to 67.0, class 0. Temp greater than 67.50, class 1, play outside. 0 means stay inside. Notice it picked 67.50, not 60 like we manually tested. The tree doesn't just pick a split. we guess, it tests every possible number between your data points and finds the exact best cutoff. Confirms the same idea, though below that line stayed above. Below that below that line equals stayed, above equal played. And it's perfectly clean both ways, exactly like you predicted by hand. Also notice weather never even shows up in this tree. Once temperature alone perfectly separates everything, weather adds nothing more to check. So the tree just doesn't bother asking about it. Quick check before we move to .predict on a real new guess. Why do you think the tree completely ignored weather given everything we just walked through? Because it thought that using temp would give it the most information gain as opposed to using weather. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go with something like using opposed, and then we're gonna go ahead and let's say send it. Correct, and that said with actual confidence this time. Not a guess, that's the loop closed. Root node selection via information gain fully understood, fully proven against our own actual code output. That's decision trees core mechanism done. Now let's take it one step further, actually using the train model to predict something new. Okay, so 190, the part.fit does not do model.predict. 1 and 90, that's a brand new Sunny, okay? Before you run it, prediction time. This time you have a real grounding, not a guess, based on the tree structure you already saw, temp less than or equal to 67.50 state, greater than or equal to 67.50 played. What do you think predict will output? It would output it would give me an output of, let's say, played. Because, alright, hands up anything that is not distracting. That's time. Moving on back to Wuthering Waves, I'm gonna remember this answer. 100, no, 1,000 ordinary reverberations could not compare you. That's where we stopped.
From the moment we met, you've done nothing but talk at yourself. I don't understand what you're saying, and I don't care to. But I do know this. The wind will not carry these words anywhere. Your madness ends here!
Damn, gives me freaking goosebumps. Epic fight, question mark? What? Just like that? Line selection 1. Upon reaching this node in main quest, you can click the specific resonator avatar to choose the preferred narrative line to continue the quest. Line selection only allows you to experience these stories in different orders and does not affect the narrative content. Alright. I wanna go with... let's see. What the hell?
This fog, it's not natural.
Find it way out the fog.
Are you alright?
Can I test your abilities?
Seems to be confused. I'm finally out. Oh.
How do you go back? What the hell? Okay, I'm stuck. Wait, can I test their abilities in that case?
Rover. Oh, looks like we got separated.
What? What is happening? How do you... Okay, I'm lost as hell. How do you...
The fog is blocking the way back to the gate. It feels deliberate.
Oh, you need to learn how to ride.
Everything looks normal. With his skills, he should be able to get out of here safely.
Okay, I'm stuck.
Seems I have no choice but to press on.
Yeah, screw this. How do you get off? Let me at least get off. How do you get off? Oh, E to get off? I'm stuck. Can I get some help? Acceleration! Yeah, screw that. How do you get off? E. R? Oh, R was to unequip. Wait. Oh, wait, I could not. Okay, that was a hard thing to drive. Alright, I'm stuck. Wait, is it just me or... Hold up. Wait, let's hit X. Is it just me or if you actually swim, does it change your avatar? I mean, your outfit. God. There we go. Okay, I cannot control this. There. Okay, finally, oh god.
A village. Tacit discords tore through here. But no bodies. No wounded. They must have evacuated before the attack.
Investigate the village. You know what? I think I should have gone with Rover. Weren't you doing skit? Actually, I'm on a break. I'm whatchamacallit, I'm working with a 25 to 5 minutes Pomodoro where every 25 minutes I take a 5 minutes break while I play Wuthering Waves. It's like a win-win situation.
Fog here.
Because I get content from my
I should
gaming
probably find
channel
a
as
way
well.
around just in case.
Bro, this is insane. I can actually play with other people's point of
What?
view. Come on, just stop anywhere. I'm almost out of time. I don't want to stop at a freaking cutscene. Yep, we're out of time. 2, 1, and that's it. Alright, hands off anything that is distracting. Back to work. Before I go back to work, I want this to stop. Like, I don't want to like miss any cutscenes, so I'll probably just wait for a couple more seconds. I want a breakpoint. Oh god. You guys see, this is plot here. I don't want to like skip on this stuff. That's one annoying thing. I always get the freaking cutscenes when I'm out of time. Looks like the tacit discards are going somewhere. Oh, nope, she's detected.
Really? Now?
This is taking up all my time, oh my gosh. It's kind of peak nonetheless.
Hey, over here! This trick won't hold them for long. You don't want to die, get into the fog.
Finally a breakpoint. Okay, moving on. Back to work, back to work. There we go. Okay, guys, how long? It took me a whole, almost 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes to get over that. What the hell? Okay, that said, where was I? It would give me an output of played because before you run at prediction time, and this time you have a real grounding, not a guess. Based on the tree structure, you already saw temperature is less than or equal to 67.0 state, and okay, there we go. Because it goes by temperature, because it predicts based on the temperature. And the temperature happens to be greater than 67.5.50. Let's go with something like 50. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and send it. I'm gonna go ahead and let's eat some oats as well while I'm at it. Exactly right, and reason correctly from the actual tree structure, not a guess this time. Run it and confirm it. So we go with predict 1 and 90. Okay, I'm gonna grab Visual Studio Code real quick. Okay, and then rather than let's say deleting, you know what's great? I'm gonna remove the two of those. Rather, I'm gonna have a parent statement down here, and I won't even need prediction here because I'm not expecting my fitch to really do anything here. I'm gonna go with something like model dot the predict method, which is gonna be predicting a list of a list that is gonna be 90. And then I'm gonna hit controller to save the code. Now I'm gonna copy my py decision class, just decision tree classifier, and then we're gonna send it. Type error, method object is not subscriptable. Predict. Did I spell predict wrong? Predict. It's either that or I forgot the, yeah, there we go. I forgot to invoke the function. And there we go. Control S to save the code, and we're gonna go ahead and let's say run this again. Alright, perfect. I get 1. 1 basically means played, while 0 means stayed. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say copy this. Then I'm gonna go ahead and paste it here and say, I was gonna say I get 1, but it's fine regardless. You know, Python, actually, yeah, I have like an entire Python's playlist on my channel because the first ever series that I did ever work on was Python for 100 days. If I were to go to my channel, if you guys were to move on to the playlist section, I have a bunch of playlists where I have C++ streams, I have Python streams as well. In total, I have worked with 130 Python streams, but my first ever series, which was learning Python for 100 days, and my goal by the end of that series was to make a game in general, which I did make using Pygames. You guys can check it out. That said, I'm just gonna go ahead and exit that. That was a quick little shameless plug. That said, real bug, real fix, and the final line proves your prediction was right. 1 played exactly what you called. But let's not skip past the type error at the top. That's a genuinely useful error. Uh-oh. My mistake. There we go. That error was basically just me. It was a silly mistake. Okay, that's decision tree, root node splitting, all closed, all real. Where we stand in the curriculum now. Linear regressions done, logistic regressions done, decision trees just closed. A random forest next. Literally a bunch of decision trees working together, SVMs, etc. Okay, hold on. I was making a game with Pygame too. Actually, it sounds really cool. Send me the game, like, whatchamacallit. Let me know more about the game in my Discord servers, let's say Python chat. And you guys can get access to the Discord server by typing !Discord. Because I do actually enjoy it. I did enjoy working with Pygames, but based on my series, I did not merely have as much time. So you can go to the Python chat after joining and then whatchamacallit, tell me about the game here. That said, we've got a real momentum right now. Okay, wait, let me say something. Can I get a transfer prompt? Okay, I would like to switch chats in order to save tokens. Okay, I do not think that we completed a whole category here or like a subcategory. Okay, I'm gonna probably, eat some oats real quick, because I do want to switch chats before I really move on. Also because I did, wanna stream for a bit longer today, like longer than usual actually, because it is like a weekend. Hold on. Wait a minute, I'm still working on it. There we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and let's say copy that. I'm gonna go there and then we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna do that. We're gonna send that and then I'm gonna go back here, grab my chat. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Let me say something like there. All right, I guess let's move on to our new chat. Okay, you closed your decision trees last session, which basically was this session. I just wanted to save some tokens. You did just get the right answer. You rebuilt information from scratch and explained the mechanism back to me in your own words. That's not memorization, that's understanding. Today we built on that. Random forest. You already got the one-liner teaser, a bunch of decision trees working together. Oh, trees and forests. Oh, that makes sense. That's the whole intuition, but it's doing a lot of work in that sentence and I'm not letting you move forward until you can tell me why that's a good idea and not just a gimmick. So for now, so question 1. Before any code, before any syntaxes, you know a single decision tree can perfectly train data. Remember your temp split clean as a whistle 67.50 split the data perfectly. If one tree can already get it that clean, why would we even want a bunch of them instead of just one really good one? Maybe to have a better guess because one model could make a mistake. Therefore, we evaluate answers from all models and then provide a more reliable answer, question mark. That was a guess. Okay, I just took a swing at it, if that's how people say it. Good instinct, and you flagged it as a guess instead of dressing it up as confidence. That's exactly the right move. You're not wrong on the surface either, but I want to push you one level deeper because one model could make a mistake is true of basically any model, including a random forest. That's not the specific reason. Here's the real target I'm hunting for. Think back to your temp split example. That tree fit the training data perfectly, 67.50, split it cleanly. I'm hunting for. Think back to your temp split example. That tree fits the training data perfectly, 67.50, split it cleanly. Question, is a tree that fits its training data perfectly necessarily going to make good predictions on that data? On data if it's never seen before? Or could perfectly memorizing the training data actually be a bad sign? Think about, oh yeah, it would be a bad sign. I believe that memorizing a training data would be a bad sign because I would want my model to be flexible. Sent. Okay, I'm gonna probably check it out after the stream. Okay, I would want my model to be flexible. Hmm, rather than just have a belief and give and provide. Should I say provide and provide? Provide answers based on that one singular data. If that made any sense. I think it did make a lot of sense though. There we go, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. Okay, that makes perfect sense, and you just said something important without even realizing how important it was. Let's slow it down. Let's slow down on it. You said you want your model to be flexible rather than locked into one singular data belief. Hold on to that word flexible. You're circling the exact concept. You don't have the vocabulary term for it yet. That's fine, that's my job. Here's the real name for what you're describing. Overfitting. When a model learns the training data too well, including its noise and quirks and one of the weirdness instead of learning the actual underlying pattern, it's the student memorizing last year's exam answers instead of understanding the material. Ace the practice test, bomb the real one. A single decision tree is extremely prone to this. Why? Because it keeps splitting and splitting until it can carve the training data into perfectly clean boxes like your temp split. Clean on the training data, but that same tree might be capturing weird one-off noise instead of the real pattern, and it'll choke on new data it's never seen. So here's the question now, and this is the one that actually gets us to random forests. If one tree is prone to memorizing noise and overfitting, how does building many trees and combining them fix that problem? Give me your gut instinct. Because the model now predicts based on several different outcomes as opposed to just one. It is just a guess. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it. You're circling it again, but this time you're less specific than your first guess. Several different outcomes is vague. I need you to push harder. Let's ground this into something concrete instead of staying abstract. Here's a scenario. Picture 3 different students. All 3 are trying to guess someone's test scores based on messy, noisy data. Student A memorizes every tiny detail of the practice data, including typos and one-off flukes. Student B does the same, but on a slightly different set of practice problems. Student C, same with different set again. Each one individually might be a little off. Each one memorized some noises, just different noises. Because they each saw a different slice of data. Now, if you average all three of their guesses together, what happens to their individual mistakes? Do the mistakes stack up and get worse? Or is there a reason averaging might cancel some of that noise out? Think about it numerically, not spatially. You're a numbers guy. I am not a numbers guy. I don't know how I understand numbers better though. So give me a number example if it helps. What happens when you average errors that are pointing in different directions? We get to a okay, let's think. Wait, firstly, let me go with something like firstly, I am not a numbers guy. I just understand it's sometimes better with numbers, but it really depends on the concept that we are working on. There we go. That said, I believe that having multiple, I believe that by having multiple decisions made, the model can go over all the decisions, find an error that a different decision did not have, and then combine all the right answers across all decisions, and give us a more reliable decision. Is that what it does? Is that what decision forests do, question mark? Again, then I'm just gonna fix three of my typos. Wow, that was a huge improvement. What the hell? Plus, in case you guys did not know, I am touch typing as well. Good correction on the numbers guide thing. Noted my mistake. I'll stop assuming that's a blanket label and just offer numbers when they actually help in specific concepts. Now you're close, but there's one specific piece I need to correct because this is a common misconception and I don't want it calcifying. It's not that the forest finds the error a different decision did not have and removes it. It's some like some kind of error detector. The tree don't know which of them is wrong. No tree ever finds out it made a mistake. There is no error checking step when the forest points at a number 2. So many wires. And says you got that wrong. Ignore your vote. What actually happens is closer to what you said earlier with flexible. It's about averaging out random noises and correcting known errors. Okay, not correcting known errors. Here's the concrete version with numbers since this one actually benefits from it. Say the true answer for something is 100. Tree A, because it overfits some noises, in its slice of training data guesses 90. Tree B overfits a different slice of noises, guess 115. Tree C overfits on yet another slice, guesses 95. None of them are wrong in a way the forest can detect, but look what happens if you average them. 90 plus 115 plus 95 divided by 3 is 100. The random errors, 1 too low, 1 too high, 1 too low, cancels each other out because they're pointing in different random directions, not because the forest identified and fixed a mistake. 90 plus 115 plus 95. Hold on a damn freaking minute. I want to fact check that myself. So we have 90 plus 115 plus 95 divided by 3. Wow. How in the genuine world did that land out? Wait. 55 plus 63 plus 72 plus 88 divided by 4. Okay, was that a coincidence that I got 100? Quick check before we move on. One correction to be named. Small on the fly term is random forest, not decision forest. Oh yeah. Small thing but precision matters. You'll see this term everywhere going forward, so random forests. Now tell me honestly, does averaging cancel the noise explanation? make sense, or do you need me to run it through a different way? Could you run it? Hold up. Could you run it through a different way, please? Okay, and then I'm just gonna add a period here, fix my typo, and then let's just go ahead and send it, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and eat something. Okay, fair, you asked for a different real world angle. Instead of forcing it exactly like your pattern from last session, let's use something concrete and physical instead of abstract numbers. Darts. Imagine 3 different people throwing darts at a bullseye, and all 3 of them have shaky aim, and none of them can hit dead center every time. Person A tends to throw a little left of the bullseye. Person B tends to throw a little right of the bullseye. Person C tends to throw a little high of the bullseye. Each individual throw misses, but now imagine you don't look at any one throw. Instead, you mark the average landing spot of all 3 rows. Because A drifts left, B drifts right. Those 2 errors partly cancel out sideways because C drifts high, but A and B don't. Don't drift high or low as much. That gets diluted too. The average landing spot ends up closer to the bullseye than any single person throws. Any single person's throw, even though every single person individually missed. Oh, that's the forest. Each tree is a shaky throw trained on a slightly different random slice of data, so each one drifts in its own slightly different direction or fits its noises. No single tree is reliable alone, but averaging their throws, their predictions, cancels out a lot of that individual drift because the drift is random and pointing a different direction for different trees. Does that dartboard version make sense? Alright guys, that's time. Hands off anything that is not distracting. Moving on back to Wuthering Waves.
No.
Alright, we're walking off somewhere. Everything's pitch black. I jinxed it. Who is he? Guys, I love this fan. I don't mind if the cutscene is like 10 minutes long. I got all the time in the world.
Here, take this. It'll stop the fog from messing with your head. Picked it up from a fortune teller in Mengzhou. Supposed to calm the mind. Thought she was full of it. You know, those Jianghu types. But wouldn't you know? It actually works. About time. This job's becoming a real pain. If I'd known Xuanfang would turn into this kind of circus, I'd have listened to my master's old lady. Saved up a little nest egg and quit while I still could.
You.
Hey, don't tell me you don't recognize the man you hired. What,
When did I-
trust issues? Come on, look at my gourd. That'll prove it.
Preloaded frequency data. The terminals were set to alert each other when we drew close. Then you, Cat of the Netherlamp, I presume?
The one and only. Suppose that makes you the Chongming pruner herself.
Okay, one question. When in the genuine world did I recruit him? But again, I wasn't really playing in her point of view or in her perspective, so I wouldn't know. Cat of the Netherlands.
You've been hiding your identity this whole time. Not the sort of thing you share with any Tom, Dick, and wandering rogue, I imagine.
Oh?
So, what changed? Why come to Xuanfang at all?
With all that is happening here, I should think you'd already possess certain insights. No?
Ah, you mean the sudden auto-puppet rebellion. Think Zhuojuan's ateliers got their hands in it, do you? In Mengzhou, their flower-veiled puppet Grand Helm hasn't made any moves. She doesn't seem to give a crap about Xuanfang, as far as I can tell. 10 years I've been at this. Tracked every operative Zhuojuan atelier sent to the Ministry of Development. Every single one, except... Oh, sorry. Say any more and I'd be out of a job. And I happen to enjoy eating.
Alright.
Anyway, I did what you asked. Mapped the whole Fogvale Pagoda top to bottom, just like you asked in your letter. Right then. If that's everything, I'll be off. Believe it or not, I do have honest work from time to time.
Okay.
Wait, one last question. Did you happen to come across a girl with a blue hat? Hair with feathered tips?
He's talking about Yang Yang.
Huh. Those features are hard to miss. If I'd seen her, I'd remember. Sorry, doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
I see.
What, is she, important to you?
She's my sister. She
Oh,
shouldn't have come here.
I completely forgot that they were siblings. What the hell? Okay. I was till now in the Yang Yang's point of view, so I'm still stuck in that mindset. I forgot that she and Robert were actually trying to find Yang Yang and they went into, let's say, a foggy place.
And I shouldn't have come here either.
What's that saying again? All right. The fairest judge fails family feuds, let alone a street rat like me.
Wait, where's Robert to begin with? Hold on, let me eat something real quick.
Looks like my work here's done. Well, Chongming Pruner, I'll be on my way. If you're aiming to get into that Fogvale Pagoda, head north. The Elseway Shroud's your ticket in. Look, I don't know if you're hunting a person or a prize, but you've put a lot of work into this. Don't choke at the finish line.
Alright.
The more you waver, the more you waste what was hard to win. Huh, that was pretty good. I should write that down.
He should be a poet. That's what I was gonna just say right now. Not really.
I really am a terrible older sister. I'll go where he said.
Okay, but here's the thing. Didn't she actually have her mechanical bird find Yang Yang? Cause the Mengzhou chapter. What did I get? 5 astrikes. Okay, but here's the thing. Wow, wait, that storyline is over. I can finally move. Okay, but what I was saying again. Didn't she send her that freaking mechanical bird who actually saw where Yang Yang was? Couldn't that bird come up and just tell her? Or was that bird not hers? Okay, screw that. I wanna get back on my car. That's actually insane. Wait, what if I... You can change while being in car and they have their own abilities? Like, can I? Wow. Let's try Rebecca. That is sick. That is sick. Okay. Okay, this is too fast for me to use. How do you use this stuff? Okay, so it says enter through the Elseway Shroud. You currently cannot use this function. Bro, how do I move? There we go. Wait, I can fly, 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 I can fly. There we go, there we go. Get out, get me out of here, get me out of here. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, that's still kind of hard to use, but I think I'll get it just of it the more I use it.
I made it inside.
Wow, back to her
And the
POV.
place I'm supposed to meet her is... I'll need to look around.
Enter the interior of Fog Whale. What was that? Fog Whale what? So dragon mechanism. Drag the glowing object in the designated direction to alter the environment, such as creating new paths or bridges. Search for clues in the hall.
The reflections in the water don't line up. I should try aligning them.
How exactly? Drag the mechanisms to align them with the shadows underwater. Oh, okay, there we go. So that goes there. That goes there. And then that goes there.
That's it.
Oh wow. Is that like a
That
portal?
should be the meeting place.
Did a portal like open or something?
This is inside a Sonoro. I should keep going.
Continue onward. Screw it. I can't use it. No, and I like using the motorbike.
This.
Try to strike the correct pose. Okay, what pose am I expected to strike? Who's that behind me? Make a cautious pose, make an elegant pose, make a lively pose. I'll go with make an elegant pose. Ooh. Guys, elegance is always the way.
You have arrived at last, my ally.
Ally? Hello there, beautiful boy. What is this? Where is your
This
code
isn't your
progress?
true self.
What
is
up?
it? Am I right, Sentinel of Mengzhou? Shin?
Okay, so basically I am following a 25 to 5 minutes Pomodoro, where every 25 minutes I get a 5 minutes break, but 4 sessions of, let's say, 25 minutes and I get a 15 minutes break. I do that to avoid any kind of exhaustion so I can stream for longer as well. That said, I am currently on a break and I do play Wuthering Waves in my break. Currently, I'm under my long break of the 15 minutes one, but today I did start working with decision trees and I was done with decision trees as well. And I started working with random forest now. I will continue working with that after the 4 minutes timer is over. That said,
That's right. What remains here is merely a thread of my frequency.
my question is, who in the genuine world is she?
You have reached the agreed place. Good. That completes the first step of our pact.
Alright.
The second step is the pivot upon which everything turns. Listen carefully, my ally.
Hold on. Before we proceed, I have something to say.
But probably eats a boat's kind of starving.
Our agreement did not cover how our transaction would proceed in the event of a force majeure. And with the chaos sweeping through Xuanfeng, as its sentinel, do you not have a duty to act?
See, like French, because force majeure, whatever that word was, it sounded a bit French.
Why the silence, Shin? As a sentinel, isn't protecting the people your foremost duty?
Oh, she's a sentinel.
This prism of fate It's a piece of you, isn't it? You had me come to Xuanfang to retrieve it and deliver it to the true you, the one hiding somewhere. Does that mean you cannot move freely now?
It looks more like a kitsune.
It seems I have fallen victim to my own cleverness. I should have chosen a less perceptive ally.
This prism of fate, can only you wield it? If I were to...
And I love that. I love the fan that she's using.
Absolutely not. Do not mistake my patience for permission. That particular desire has no claim here.
You.
I'm so very sorry, but I prepared a backup key.
Miss Soy Soy, you are claiming you entered into a direct deal with Sentinel Sheen the Moon Fox?
Oh, she's not a kitsune, she's a moon fox.
Yes. By chance, I once entered into a contract with that elusive Lady Sentinel. She requested I meet her at a certain place in Xuanfang. To that end, she gave me an encrypted frequency. This was meant to be a private matter, but the situation has spiraled. I will not walk into Xuanfang Hold blind. Magistrate, may I ask if this frequency is the same as the one you gave to Rover?
Yes. The spectral pattern matches exactly.
Then, about the Sentinel of Mangzhou, do you have anything more to share?
Alright, that's time. Hands off anything that is distracting. Moving on, back to work. There we go. Okay, so where was I? Fair to ask, so could you run it through in a different way? Person A tends to throw a little left. Okay, so this was our darts example, our analogy. The average landing spot ends up closer than the bullseye. That's forest. Each tree is shaky thrower trained on a slightly different random slice of data, so each one drifts in its own slightly different direction. Overfits its noise. No single tree is reliable alone, but averaging their throws, their predictions, cancels out a lot of that individual drift because the drift is random and pointing different directions for different trees. Does that dartboard version land better than the numbers version? Okay, I think I understood that. Okay, so let's go with something like the reason we use random forests in order to get multiple decisions is because a single model is never because a single tree is never reliable. However, the average of multiple trees can cut most of the let's say noise and give the best prediction. Produce sounds better. Produce the best prediction. There we go, and I will be fixing my reliables typo there, and let's just go ahead and send it. Then I'm gonna just start to hydrate my lips real quick. Okay, that's it. The core mechanism stated correctly and in your own words, not memorized back at me. Actually understood. That's why that's the why of random forests. One precision correction before we move forward. Small but worth locking in. If it's not that a single tree is never reliable, as an absolute, a single tree can be accurate. It's a single. It's not that a it's that a single tree is prone to overfitting slash high variance, meaning it's unreliable in a specific way. It swings hard based on exactly which data it happened to train on. Small wording thing, but never reliable versus prone to noisy overfitting is the difference between a blanket dismissal and understanding the actual mechanism. You clearly understand the mechanism, just tightening the label. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part most tutorials skip past too fast. I told you the trees each see a different slice of the data, and that's why they each drift differently, but I never told you how that slice actually happens. There are actually two separate randomness tricks working together in a random forest. Not just one. Most people know about one of them. Before I hand you the first one, quick gut check, no wrong answers here. If you had one data set and you wanted to train, say 100 different trees that each see something slightly different, how would you even do that? You only have one data set. Where does the different slices for each tree actually come from? All the 100 trees takes a prediction, makes a all the 100 trees make a decision of their own, and then the model gets an average for all those predictions, and comes with an accurate conclusion slash prediction. Okay, that said, this was just a guess. Let's go with something like this was just a guess. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say send it. Good guess, but you answered a slightly different question than the one I asked you. You told me what happens after training 100 trees each board, then we average. That part you've already nailed, we just covered it with the darts. What I'm actually asking is a step before that. How does each of the 100 trees end up different from each other in the first place? If you had all 100 trees if you had all 100 trees, the exact same data set with no changes, they'd all just build the same exact tree, right? Same data in same splits out every time. Same data in same splits out every time. So something has to make each tree see something slightly different. Oh yeah, that does make sense. Or you just have 100 identical clones, and averaging 100 identical clones gets you nowhere. Same drift, no cancellation. Here's a concrete version to react to. Imagine you have a training set of 10 rows of data. Tree number 1 needs its own slice to train on. Tree number 2 needs a different slice. Tree number 3 needs a different one again. If you're only ever allowed to pull from those same 10 rows, no new data allowed, how would you recreate 100 different looking training sets out of just those 10 rows? Gut instinct, don't worry about the technical name, just the mechanism. Imagine you have a training set of 10 rows of data. Tree number 1 needs its own slice. To train on, tree number 2 needs a slice. Tree number 3, a different one again. maybe I would give them different variations. Like I have 10 rows, so the tree 1 gets 1, 6, 8 to work on, and tree 2 gets 10, 9, 4, and so on. Like different variations from the rows that we currently have. And yeah, this is a guess as well. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and let's say send this. That's not just close, that's basically the mechanism. Wait, that was a freaking guess, and you landed it on without knowing the real name? Real instinct there. You said exactly. You said each tree gets a different variation, different rows pulled from the same 10. That's exactly it. Here's the one refinement, because there's a specific rule about how those rows gets pulled, and it matters. The sampling is done with replacement. That means when you pull a row of your sample, you don't remove it from the pool, you throw it back in, and it could get picked again. So with your 10 rows, tree number 1's a sample of 10. Yes, typically the same size as the original, 10, not 3. Might look like row 6, row 6, row 1, row 9, row 9, row 9, row 2, row 4, row 4, row 10. Notice row 6 appears twice, row 9 appears 3 times, and rows 3, 5, 7, 8 don't appear at all in this particular example. Tree 2 does the same random pull with replacement, gets a totally different mix maybe. Row 3 shows up 4 times this round. This technique, sampling with replacement to create a new variation of dataset, has a name. Bootstrapping, and each of these resembled dataset is called bootstrap sample. Quick check, why do you think we sample with replacement, allowing repeats instead of just splitting the row 10 into 100 tiny non-overlapping groups? What would go wrong if we didn't allow repeats? Do you guys have any guesses? What would go wrong if we didn't allow any repeats? Everyone would have a different answer. Therefore, there would be no similarities. I spelled that absolutely wrong. Therefore, there would be no similarities. To find what is it that is really the best answer. It is a guess again. My guesses are being really logical these days. What the hell? Let's slow down, because I think you're solving a different problem than the one in front of you, and I want to catch this now before it calcifies into a wrong mental model. You're describing a scenario where everyone has a different answer, so there is no similarities to find the best one. But think back to Dart example. Did we ever need the trees to agree with each other or find similarities between their answers? Person A drifted left, person B drifted right. They were completely different, and that disagreement was the whole point. Averaging different independent guesses is what cancels the noise. So the concern isn't will the tree disagree? Some disagreement is actually good. It's what makes averaging work at all. Let's reframe the actual question more concretely. You have 10 rows, non-overlapping split opinion. row 1 through 10, split into 100 tiny groups. But wait, you literally can split 10 rows into 100 non-overlapping groups. You'd run out of row numbers almost instantly. Even splitting into just 2 non-overlapping group gives you 2 sets of 5 rows, each tiny. Here's the real question I want you sitting with. If you only had 10 rows total and no repeats are allowed, how many different non-overlapping samples could you even make before you run out of data? And what would each tree's training set end up being? And big and useful, or tiny and starved? Okay, tiny and starved, but I feel like just predicting every single time is not helping me understand the concept as effectively as it would with explanations and examples followed by questions and predictions. There we go, and then I'm just gonna fix my typo here. Examples. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and send it, and let's say eat some oats because I'm kind of starving. Well, talk, and I'm glad you said it directly instead of just quietly disengaging. That's exactly the kind of honesty I want from you. But let's be precise about what's actually happening here, because I don't think the issue is too many predictions. You actually landed almost every prediction so far. Root node before running code dot predict output before running code. The darts explanation click, the different variation guess was basically the correct mechanism. You're not floundering, you're doing exactly what we established works for you. Reason it out, get corrected / refined, move forward. The one that felt bad now was the no similarities to find the best answer one, and I think that felt bad not because the prediction first is broken as a method, but because a specific question was a step off from where your understanding actually was. I asked you to reason about a mechanism, bootstrapping, using a framing / agreement similarity that does not apply to it. That's on my question design, not in your the method. So direct answer to your actual question, you just correctly reasoned that non-overlapping splits out. Splits leave you tiny and starved. That is the answer, but I guess that answer. That's why we sampled with the replacement instead. Instead, it's the only way to give a full-size sample. 10 rows, okay? Instead of a starved fraction while still making each tree sample different through the repetition / omissions, here's the explanation straight, no question attached since you asked for that. Bootstrapping equals to sample with replacement, so every tree gets full-sized. But a different training set, without replacement, you'd have to shrink that each tree's data to almost nothing to avoid overlap with replacement. Every tree gets a full 10 row set, just a different random mix of repeats and omissions. I mean, I did not understand it completely. How is tiny and starved bad? Question mark. Because if all 100 models got tiny and starved, at the end of the day, we would just get an average of all the models, right? Well, question, and it's a good one. Let's actually dig into why starved is bad instead of me just asserting it. Think back to your own temp-split example from decision trees. You had a full data set and the tree found a clean, correct split at temperature less than 67.50. That clean split only emerged because the tree had enough data to see the real pattern clearly. Now imagine that the tree, but instead of the full data set, it only got the 2 rows total. Question: with only 2 rows of data, do you think the tree could find a real meaningful pattern? Like hot versus not hot? Actually predicting something, or is it more like to just be memorizing those 2 exact points with no way to tell what? Interesting. Think back to your own temp-split example from decision trees. You had a full data set and the tree found a clean, correct split at temp less than 67.50. That clean split only emerged because the tree had enough data to see the real pattern clearly. Oh, it did. Now imagine that same tree, but instead of the full data set, it only got 2 rows total. With only 2 rows of data, do you think that tree could find a real meaningful pattern? It could not, like hot versus not hot, actually predicting something, or is it more likely to just be memorizing those 2 exact points? It would memorize with no way to tell what real pattern versus total. Oh. Question 2, with only 2, wait. Concretely, if your 2 rows happen to be 70 degrees Fahrenheit, played tennis, and 67 degrees Fahrenheit didn't play tennis, the tree might conclude the cutoff is 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Total noise built from just 2 points, not an actual pattern. Now, here's your actual question: which is sharp? If all 100 trees are starved and noisy, doesn't averaging still fix it? Same as before? Here's the problem: averaging cancels random noise that points in different directions like the darts, left, right, high. But if every possible tree is starved down to 2 to 3 rows, the noise isn't small anymore. It's huge for every tree because none of them ever saw enough data to find the real signal in the first place. You're not averaging slightly off guesses anymore. You're averaging basically guessing blind guesses. Okay, gut check. In the darts example, would averaging still help if there were blindfolded, if all 3 people were blindfolded and standing 50 feet further back? Not a little off, but widely, massively off. Does averaging garbage still produce something good, or does it just produce averaged garbage? Oh, I see. It produces averaged garbage. In that case, do we give all 100 models different variations of the 10 datas, question mark? Like, it will not consist of repeats, but just like all the positioning or the placement, just like the placement of all numbers from 1 through 10 could be arbitrary. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fix my typos real quick. Give me a quick little second. This is going to be variations. That's going to be data. That's going to be arbitrary. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 0, 8, 9, 10, 1, 7, and so on for all 100 models. Huh. Good. Average garbage tells me the starve data problem actually landed. Now let's look at your new proposal carefully. Because you're not onto something, but there's a subtle gap. What you just described, reordering all, there we go, that's the correct word. Reordering all 10 rows, no repeated, just shuffled, would give tree number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 1, 7, 2, 3, 2, 7, 1, 9, 3, 10, yada yada, etc. Quick gut check on that, on this one. If every tree gets all 100 rows, just a different order, does the order of the rows actually change what pattern a decision tree finds? Think back to your temp split example again. The tree looked at temperature and weather values and found temp less than 67.50. Think back to your temp example again. The tree looked at temp and weather values and found temp less than 67.50. Was the best split? Does it matter if row 68 Fahrenheit sunny was the first row you gave it versus the 7th row? Would the tree find a different split depending on row order, or does it look at all values regardless of what the order is? It looks at all values regardless of what the order is. If that is the case, why do we even bother having multiple models multiple trees look at it? And how would that even... Alright guys, that's time. How would that even be possible without getting the same result again and again? There we go. Hands up anything that is not distracting. Moving on to Wuthering Waves.
I am afraid I have little to offer. In recent years, Jue has shared very few updates regarding Sheen. And I can't confirm that what I do know is even true. However, if she summoned you to the land of Shuangfang, then that soil must hold a deep significance for her. Jue once mentioned that Sheen separated her tail to create multiple prisms of fate. Each one contains a fragment of the Sentinel's power. If one is hidden in the hold, it's no coincidence. Only, I cannot say why Sheen's intentions are so veiled. I suspect you will only learn more once you are there. Miss
All right.
Soy, you're wondering if that prism of fate can be used to find Yang Yang, aren't you?
Is that not possible?
Naturally, a vessel for a Sentinel's power would be heavily restricted. Likely only Sheen or her resonator could wield it. No. There is one more exception.
Yeah. Over?
Jue and a young girl it rescued.
The Moon Fox?
Our prior agreement is forfeit. I did break faith first, but now, Sentinel Sheen, I would propose a new contract. Will you hear it?
Sure.
How sly. You sought out Jue and its resonator to cheat the terms. You wear the fox's skin better than I.
Forgive me, I am backed into a corner. But I truly believe this serves us both. If only you would...
No. Even if I cannot cast you out, do not think I will bend so easily. You do not know what weight of duty lies beneath your own words.
Looks like convincing her will take some effort.
All right. Off she goes. Okay, so check the situation in the hall. Ask the people around for information, alright? Two peoples.
Why has the Sentinel not done anything?
What's going on here?
Well, today's a big day. A trade conclave hosted by the Sentinel herself. But didn't you hear? A thief actually stole her token. If the Sentinel decides to hold them accountable for this...
Trade conclave. I see. I suspect it is the same one I attended back in Mangzhou. That's when I signed the contract with Xin. Is she trying to remind me of that?
Okay, and then we get the second information.
No, what should I do? How could anyone commit such sacrilege?
Where was the Sentinel's token stolen from?
Right over there, on the platform. No one even saw it disappear. The hall went pitch black, and then...
Holy crap, you already started streaming. I actually started streaming 2 hours and 41 minutes ago. Today I thought to stream sooner and go on for longer.
Thank you. I will take a look. Perhaps the thief left a trail.
Damn, I wanted to watch early on. Oh, I mean, I usually do mention you guys on Discord whenever I start streaming, but today I didn't have college and it was a weekday. I thought to get a lot of work done today. That said, check the display line. Whoa, what in the world was that? Wait, I want to test her skills out.
Come now. I could use another dancer.
Oh, wow.
Spring's breath sings. Ripples dance bright.
That's the longest skill that I've seen. Okay, maybe because I'm holding. Oh, that was a hold ability? What does E do?
Huh?
Where does that thief think he can run?
Alright, that's it. Time's up. Hands up anything that is distracting. Moving on. Back to work. Oh, so maybe 4 hours of stream. I'll try to pull it up to 6 hours today, to be honest. So what did you learn today? Today I did work with decision trees, and currently I am working with random forest. I'm trying to get a grasp of what it does. I did sort of get a grasp, but I did end up with a question. I said it looks it looks at all values regardless of what the order is. If it looks at all values regardless of what order it is, okay. If that is the case, then why do we even bother having multiple trees look at it? And how would that even be possible without getting the same results again? I need to work on my punctuation up there. 6 hours. Okay, I'm gonna try 6 hours, to be honest. Also based on when I get too exhausted, I cannot really work much or like get more information. It's also called, I think, information overload or something, because that would just be stupid to keep pushing on because I wouldn't really absorb anything else. That's it. Exact right answer and exactly right follow-up question. You just talked yourself into the actual problem bootstrapping solves. This is good reasoning, not a stall. Okay, you've now proven something important yourself. Shuffling order changes nothing. If all 100 trees get the same 100 rows, just reordered, every single tree finds the exact same split. Temperature less than 67.50 or whatever it is. If you get 100 identical clones, averaging 100 identical clones equals to the same single answer you get from one tree. Completely pointless, no dart style, noise cancellation, because there is no disagreement to cancel. Oh, bootstrapping. Sounds interesting. Actually, that was a term that I just, came across, I think like a couple of chats ago. Okay, by a couple of chats, I mean a couple of minutes ago. I'm trying to understand what does it mean. So you've now ruled out both broken options yourself. Non-overlapping tiny splits, starved, garbage data, average garbage. Same 10 rows, just reordered identical trees, no diversity, pointless. That leaves one exact way to make each tree's dataset different in actual content, while still keeping each full-sized, and it's the one I named earlier, but you hadn't seen why it's the only option that works. Sampling with replacement. Here's the mechanic again. But now you'll see why it's forced, not arbitrary. Arbitrary means random. For each tree, you randomly pick a row from your 10. Write it down, but then put it back. It's still available to be picked again. Do that 10 times total to keep the sample full-sized because repeats are allowed. Some rows gets picked 2 to 3 times, and this is the key part. Some rows gets missed entirely by random choice. Example, tree 1's is bootstrap sample 6, 9, 6, 2, 9, 4, 9, 1, 6, 10. Row 6 shows up 3 times, row 9 shows up 3 times, and rows 3, 5, 7, 8 never appear at all. That tree is now training on a data set that's different in actual content. Row 6 and 9 dominate, 3, 5, 7, 8 are invisible to it. While still being full-sized, row 10, that's what creates real contentful diversity between trees, unlike your reorder idea. Okay, check for you based on that mechanic. Why would a tree trained on a sample where row 6 appears 3 times and row 3, 5, 7, 8 are missing entirely potentially find a different split than the original full data set would? Okay. They would get different answers. What was the garbage one? Small and starved is garbage. Okay. They would get different answers. Which the 100 trees could later on find an average of in order to have an accurate prediction. Okay, that is an answer that I would give if I wanted to move on. However, even if that answer is correct, I do not understand how is the prediction of the average that it gave us be different from the let's say garbaged average. A garbaged average, because even if we have 10 placeholders for our let's say data, even if we have 10 placeholders for our data, we still are keeping our trees deprived of content. And then let's send it. Stop, you just caught something real and I'm not letting you talk yourself past it with an answer to move on. That instinct you flagged, this feels like garbage average again, is exactly the kind of self-check I wanted from you. Let's actually resolve it instead of hand-waving past it. Here's the precise distinction you're missing, and it's subtle. Starved in the garbage average case meant fewer total data points than the original, like 2 rows instead of 10 rows. Each tree literally has less information available, period. No amount of average fixes that, because every single tree is blind to most of the real pattern. Bootstrapping is different. Each tree gets 10 total picks. Same count as the original. It's not deprived in quantity. What changes is which specific row gets emphasized versus left out. By random chance each time. Oh. Here's the concrete gut check version. Originally, data has 100 rows. Some are hot, played, some are cold, didn't play. Say 7 out of the 10 rows clearly supported, 10 being the deciding factor. That's real signal and it's the majority of the data. If tree number 1's bootstrap sample randomly misses 4 of those rows and duplicates others, it might still catch 5 of those 7 temp supporting rows just by chance. Enough to still find the real temp pattern, just with slightly different exact numbers / threshold. Tree 2 misses a different row. Wait, tree number 2 misses a different 4 rows. Catches a different 5 of the 7. Both trees find temp matters because the real signal is strong enough to survive random partial omission. They just miss. They just might disagree on small details like, I see what's the difference? Bootstrapping causes small random disagreement on details while still preserving the real signal in most samples. The two-row starved case destroys the signal itself because there is not enough data left for any pattern or real or fake to emerge. Interesting. Given that framing does a bootstrap sample lose with 10 repeats, losing 4 unique rows feel meaningfully different from a starved sample that only ever had 2 rows to begin with. What's actually different in the amount of real signal each one retains? Oh, I see. So, basically, having our trees starved gives them less access to the actual content. However, when we use bootstrapping, we still our trees still have access to 10 rows. However, they pick what content are they going to use for their prediction, which is arbitrary. And that every 100 trees will have different choices that leads to small conflicts. And conflicts. After all the predictions have been averaged, we get a middle ground. The best prediction that all the trees settled on. Oh wow, that was a lot to process. That's it, that's the full mechanism currently assembled in your own words, including the part that strips almost everyone on their first pass. The difference between less data, bad, and difference between full-size data, good. You didn't just accept my explanation this time, you argued it until it actually made sense. That's a much stronger place to learn from than nodding along. One tiny wording polish, not a correction. You said middle ground, the best prediction that all the trees settled on. Small nuance. It's not that the trees settled on anything together. They never talk to each other, never see each other's answer. Each tree just gives its answer independently, and the averaging happens completely outside / after all of them. Done by the forest, not negotiated between the trees. Same result, just non-negotiation happening, pure independent votes plus outside averaging. I would say the best predicted outcome. That actually sounds correct as well, to be honest. Okay, you now have bootstrapping trick 1 of 2. Remember I told you random forest uses 2 separate randomness tricks and most people only know 1. You just fully earned trick 1. Trick 2 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's the actual reason it's called a random forest and not just a bootstrap forest. Here's the setup for it. Imagine your dataset does not have temp and weather. It has 10 different column features: temperature, weather, humidity, wind, time of day, etc. When a decision tree picks its best split at each node, right now you understand it, looks at all 10 features and picks whichever one gives you the best information gain. So each one is isolated from each other. I see. Question to sit with, no need to answer it yet. I'm setting it up. If every tree in the forest is allowed to look at all 10 features every time, even with different bootstrap samples, do you think there's still a risk that most of the trees end up picking the same feature at the top, like temp, over and over, just because it's genuinely the strongest signal? And if that happened a lot, would the trees actually end up disagreeing with each other much, or would they start looking kind of similar again? Take a real swing at it. This is the setup for number 2. I'm setting it up if every tree in the forest is allowed to look at all 10 features every time, even with different bootstrap samples, do you think there is a risk that most of the trees will end up picking the same features at the top, like temp, over and over, just because it's genuinely the strongest signal? And if that happened a lot, would the tree actually end up disagreeing with each other? No, wait, hold on. I do not think that trees are able to look at other trees. Therefore, they would not pick let's say choices based on majority. There we go. if I understand correctly, the decision tree vote independently, and then the average at the end of all is predicted to become the right slash most probable answer. Yeah, actually, that's basically the gist of it. And whatchamacallit, the decisions that they actually vote for, I understand the decision trees vote independently. The let's say decisions, or let's say the evidence that they gather in order to make a vote, are called boot samples. Was it boot samples or boot? I think it was boot samples, right? Bootstrapping, boot. There we go. Bootstrap, not boot sample. Bootstrap sample. Based on the bootstrap sample, they make votes, or like, yeah, votes. And those votes are later on averaged, and we get one answer or one vote that is the most probabilistically correct answer, if that was the correct word. Cool, I enjoy learning with you. Let's go, let's go. Okay, good. You're right that trees can see each other, and that's not what I asked, and that's not what I was asking, so let me be more precise. Because I think you answered a slightly different question than the one on the table. I'm not asking whether trees coordinate or vote together. You already correctly know they don't. I'm asking something narrower, even without any coordination. Could they independently arrive at the same answer just because the data itself makes it obvious? Here's a real-world version. Imagine 100 different students in 100 different rooms who never talk to each other. Each one gets a different random subset of clues about a mystery. But suppose one clue is so blatant and overwhelming, like a signed confession, that almost every subset of clues happens to include it or point to it clearly. Would you expect most of those 100 students independently and without any coordination to land on that same obvious answer anyway? Not because they copied each other, but because the evidence itself was that strong. Yes, they would. Let's say something like, because that would be the most logical thing to do. Then I'm gonna go ahead and send it. Feels like it makes it easier to retain information. That actually sounds kind of cool. Show me the code. Actually, I haven't written a whole lot of code. This is basically everything that I've written this stream. I did start working with the Scikit-Learn.tree, or well, I did learn to import from the Scikit-Learn.trees is, should I say class? Because last stream I worked with the Scikit-Learn model underscore, I think, was it regression? Hold on, let me check it real quick. Linear model, not model underscore regression, linear model. Okay, but today I worked with the decision tree classifier and export tree, which is basically just for a text. Export text, not tree. That's it, exactly right, and that's not a small thing. That's the actual problem trick 2 solves. Now connected back. Temp is your signed confession. It's such a huge signal. Remember, it gave a perfectly clean split? Temp less than 67.50, that even with 100 different bootstrap samples, each one is missing different rows. Temp is still probably the best split in almost every single one of those samples. The bootstrap sample changes which row are there, but it does not change the fact that temp is genuinely the strongest signal in the data. Interesting. Okay, so here's the problem this creates. Connecting straight back to what you already figured out earlier, if 90 plus of your 100 trees all pick temp as their root node anyway, how different are those trees really going to end up being from each other, even though their bootstrap samples were different? Are you back to something closer to identical clones or genuinely different trees? Well, finally, you're learning real machine learning. See, it's not AI predictions for AI. You need deep learning, etc. I mean, yeah, that does make sense. In my roadmap, I don't think that I've seen deep learning, but then I'm pretty sure that it may be a subcategory under a category, actually. Oh, wait, never mind. I just did not work. How do I not know that I have deep learning for my phase 3? Like, what the hell? Wow, I'm almost done with phase 2. That was not that hard. Well, it does make sense. I have been spending more time. That's it. I'm going to eat some oats. I'm going to go ahead and exit that. Kind of excited for deep learning in that case. Okay, so here's the problem this creates, connecting straight back to what you already figured out earlier. If 90 plus of your 100 trees all pick temp as their root node anyway, how different are those trees really going to end up being from each other? Even though their bootstrap samples were different. Are you back to something closer to identical clones or genuinely different trees? This is a guess. I believe we will be back to something closer to identical clones. And then let's send it. How many algorithms did you learn so far? By algorithms, do you mean steps? I'm working on, let's say, every individual step. For example, linear regressions and then logistic regressions. Let me kind of give a quick little overview on those things. So what I learned so far about, let's say, machine learning was that, of course, applied math. I did need to work with linear algebra, let's say calculus, probability, statistics. I did work with Bayes' theorem, and most of these topics in here, I do understand it. I'm giving my brain time to soak everything up because later on in the upcoming phases, I will be reusing these, and that's when it's going to get really easier to, let's say, get a grasp of everything that I'm working on. But then, for now, I'm working with linear regressions, which I was kind of done with, I think, right? Yeah, I was done with this stuff. Linear regressions and logistic regressions basically are... They basically perform, let's say, math based on the math. The logistic regression categorizes stuff in, let's say, two parts. One could either be true, the other could be actually pass or fails, not true or false, based on certain conditions. Will this thing pass or will this thing fail? While let's say linear regression gave me more of a answer based on patterns. For example, a house's square feet could be 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, and 4,000. Where the base price for 1,000 square feet house is $200,000, and it keeps going up by $50,000 every single increase per 500 square feet. So we get the 50,000 square feet, the increase in our prices, and the 5,000 square feet, which is the increase in our in our square feet. We divide them together and we get 100. So it basically gives us that 100, and then we gotta later implement that somewhere else. Okay, everything that I worked on so far is basically me just getting to know or me being exposed to those topics. I need to later on learn on how to, let's say, augment all those things that I learned into an actual project. I'm retired, guys. That's it. My brain can't do any more of these. Are these algorithms too fast? Spend days on something that you can fully understand. I see. These algorithms too fast? Spend days on something so that you can fully understand it. That actually does make sense. But I do not want to master these topics while I'm really going over it, because I feel the best way to learn this stuff is basically being exposed first and later on working on the same exact topics again, because I wouldn't be able to, let's say, get the most out of any topic or any concept under this section in general if I did not really know where can I use it on later, if that makes any sense. I need to have everything inside my toolbox. That's when I could start working with it. That said, my eyes were closed the whole time I was recalling what we did with regressions, that we're out of time, so I'm gonna be playing Wuthering Waves for about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a day.
Never let him slip away.
Or do I really need to? I don't want to like start a storyline, so I'm probably gonna like stop here and then maybe continue the stuff tomorrow. For the time being, I want to go ahead and let's say, how do I open my... I cannot quit? Oh god, we gotta go here. It's not an option, we're forced. I wanted to check the gacha, but it's fine.
This must be the spot. And this? Is it? A cheat sheet you left for me?
Oh?
If you have no use for it, I can always take it back, you know.
What kind of answer are you expecting from me? Or is it simpler than that? Is this you wanting me to make the same choice you did?
Guys, I feel cinnamon and oats is so good for memory.
A spoken lesson is soon forgotten. A lived lesson, never. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep. Okay, so it says use the cheat sheet by Hishin the Moon Fox. Okay, so F to use the cheat sheet. Wow, name. It's Wuthering Waves. Okay, interaction with key clues. Interact with the key clues in the scene to start the gameplay. Click the special button to fully recharge the refluent hourglass and activate it. Once activated, the refluent glass reverses time for the environment within the scanning radius, resorting to a previous state. Okay. Alright. So, apparently, wow. Guys, I kind of love the animation here. New trophy, let's go! We gotta click space. Basically just spam space. New trophy. A second chance. Oh?
The thief seems to have fled to the left.
Okay, so follow the clue. I'm gonna use my... Damn it, I can't use my expedition bike. I gotta continue following the clue. Here's a massive door.
Here. Huh. There seems to be a clue by the flower bed.
Okay. I guess we spam space again. Okay, and ignore the times up
Did the thief
here.
go that way? They even disguised their footsteps. I almost fell for it.
Okay,
Which
ignore...
means-
Uh-oh.
Is the opposite, of course.
Which means the real way is the opposite, of course. Okay, and yeah, ignore this. I'm done with today. I'm totally exhausted. There we go. I'm just gonna complete this storyline before I
The
really
right
leave because I don't want to
momentum.
lose my progress. Track the correct path. Oh wow, wait, should I take the long way? Oh, there we go. Ow.
There's something behind this door.
I just realized she's got so much HP. What the hell? Almost 40,000? What's her level? Examine the mask on the floor. Looks like a Kitsune mask. Should I say Moonfox mask?
This mask. It matches the one the thief was wearing. They finally slipped up. Did they escape through here? The hole in the wall. It connects back to the previous room.
Kitsune mask. Find
And
a way
this
into
mask on the ground.
find a way into the
It might come
adjacent room.
handy.
It's like an anime. What I'm saying, gacha games are so insane. It's basically me playing an anime on stream without getting a copyright.
The right momentum.
It's so entertaining too. Plus, I'm the character and I can play with different POVs. Not really, but then sort of. I'm still getting to know this game.
Miss, please stop. This area is only open to those with an invitation.
By invitation, I assume you mean this mask?
My apologies. Please, go right in.
Alright, enter the VIP room.
As I thought. That one is definitely hiding something.
Hey, catch up to the culprit.
Awfully noisy earlier. What happened?
Wait. Oh, okay, there you go. And what did you see?
This game of cat and mouse is almost over. No, cat and fox?
I was just gonna say
I can
that,
see
cat
every
and
single
fox.
move in the hall from up here. I've been watched this entire time, haven't I?
Haven't I?
This.
What's her mission? Okay, it's basically, wait, hold on. Her mission for this part is to find her sister, but she's not the main character. She's trying to look for her sister.
Does that mean this isn't over yet?
It's not over till now? Alright, let's keep going forward.
What a terrible spectacle. Is this part of the test too?
Use the refueled hourglass on the puppets. Oh, so we're in a storyline. Alright. What's happening?
I see. So these
happening?
people, they were...
Oops, my bad. I thought that move is just gonna grab her fan off. What's...
Have I
Returned?
returned to before any of this began? If so, how am I supposed to change the ending? That beacon
where's-
over there. Maybe I can make use of it.
Interesting.
That guard over there. Time for a little performance.
What kind of performance? How did you create a roadmap? I asked Claude to actually create it for me. I just said it that I wanted to be able to build an agentic AI by the end of my series, so I wanted a roadmap that consisted of all the prerequisites that I would really need in order to do so. Or rather, did you know what to include in it? I did not know anything. It's actually the same thing with all my roadmaps. I know zero about any of them in general. I completely rely on Claude or any kind of AIs, but then when I'm done with the roadmap, I kind of do appreciate them that they didn't really screw it up. That's it. If you do want access to the roadmap, you can join my Discord server, which I'm pretty sure that you are already in, and either go to the Coding Helps chat, Python chat, or the general chat, mention my name there at VivUniverse, asking me for the roadmap. I will be personally DMing it to you after the stream is over though. That's it. Let's see the performance.
If I just tell him plainly, he might not take it seriously.
Help! Please! Can you use that beacon to call for help?
Stay right there! Is there anything I can help you with? The beacon is damaged. Only technicians are allowed near it. Anyone else could get hurt.
No access then.
Have you calmed down? You were shouting for help. Were you attacked by tacit discords?
No, a group of exiles. I think they were planning to raid the village.
What? All the senior guards are out on patrol. I have to warn them.
I also noticed after phase 2 there's a different AI stuff. Is there? I didn't really pay much attention to the roadmap. I basically give it to Claude and it tells me what to do. But I do actually see the content before I really work with it. She sounds British for a Japanese. I thought she was Chinese though. What the hell?
You stay here. Lock the village gates and don't let anyone in until we get back.
Their names did not sound Japanese. Also, the Pomodoro timer exploded. Actually, I kind of closed it because was pretty exhausted with, let's say, working with those stuff. So I will be continuing Random Forest next stream. Although before I really did exit the game, I needed to complete the story because I will lose all my progress if I leave now. That's why I'm still stuck here. The trainee guard rushes off in a panic. Okay.
A bit impetuous, that one. But that ought to be enough.
Is it over? Can I leave? I still can't leave. Your progress will be saved upon quitting. Quit now. You will continue from here when you come back. There we go. That's it. I want to kind of open my Convene though. But wait. If my progress is going to be saved, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to come back here next stream. That said, let me go ahead and move on to my OBS in that case and go to my main camera. And then I'm just going to go ahead and let's say exit Wuthering Waves. That's pretty much it. Alrighty guys, so that was basically it for the stream. I did want to stream for longer, but I did not really because I thought it wouldn't really be as useful to stream for even longer if I couldn't process much information. Wait a minute. Hold on. I hit quit. Why did I... Where's my progress gone? Yes, I need to enter the... Okay, oh god, that scared the frick out of me. I need to get back inside my tunnel. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna probably cut this part and then probably add it in my video too. That's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to my main camera. Oh yeah, and what I was saying, I did not really wanna overlearn the stuff. Then I would have forgotten everything without really having to soak much of that information. That said, if you guys enjoyed my stream, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe and notifications turn on. And if you guys did enjoy my stream / my content in general, make sure to share my channel because like helps my algorithm sharing, makes you smile, and subscribe link at share on top. That said, I did start multi-streaming because I did realize that streaming simultaneously across several platforms, including vertical stream as well, decreases my stream quality by a ton. Therefore, I did stop multi-streaming, but if I did find a way to stream simultaneously without really affecting my stream quality, I will do so. That said, if you guys do want to follow me in any of my socials, you guys can get access to all my socials through the link in the description, through my bio, or by typing exclamation and the name of my social in chat. All lowercase, no space. If the social does exist, a link is going to pop up within 3 to 4 seconds. If the social does not exist, a link will not pop up. That said, could you please DM? Actually, wait, hold on. Let me go to my gameplay screen real quick. Hold up, let me open my OBS and go to my gameplay screen. Yeah, hold on, let me just go here and then let's just go ahead and exit this. Okay, so basically, if you guys do go, I could probably DM it on stream as well. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I enjoyed the stream. Wait, I enjoyed my stay. That actually sounds really awesome. Okay, let's see. So the remaining 2 hours or whatever is gameplay. Actually, no, I'm gonna end my stream because I do have college work as well. That said, okay, this was the game. Very nice. I'll definitely check it out. So in the Python chat, coding help chat, or the general chat, you guys could ask me for the roadmap. Then I would, whatchamacallit, DM it to you guys like how I did with like a bunch of people here. For example, let's go with, I don't know, Spidey. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and I think that's like pretty much it. I'm gonna go to, let's say, my Python chat again, exit this stuff, and I forgot where was I in my outro again. So let me go to my main camera. Okay, that said, I did create 2 brand new channels, one called Viv Arcade and the other called Viv Works Out. Viv Arcade is specifically meant for my gaming content where I do upload daily videos on Wuthering Waves based on, let's say, all the content that I do cover in my, let's say, streams here. Because every time I have a break, I do screen record all the gameplay and then I do edit it and then upload it in my gaming channel. Therefore, if you guys are interested in that content, you guys could go ahead and check out my gaming channel. Or if you guys are interested in the workout content, I would not recommend you guys check out my workout channel because I have not uploaded a video there in a long time. That said, you guys can get access to, let's say, any of my channels in general if you guys go to my channels' homepage. Hold on. There we go. If you guys go to my channel's homepage and scroll all the way down, you guys will be seeing 2 other channels featured where the Viv Arcades' channel has a bunch of Wuthering Wave videos which I have been uploading, and trust me, I did schedule video for the next 20 days. Although my Viv Works Out's channel, on the other hand, does not have as many videos. It does not have videos in general. I just got a bunch of shorts and like a couple of live streams. That said, that was pretty much it for the channel. So if you guys are interested, you guys could check those things out. And also, yeah, I thought to really show you guys because mostly I just say it while verbalizing everything, but I feel like visually if you guys do see it, it's easier to really know where to go. That said, if you guys do want to follow me in my AI engineering for 365 days series and that you guys want access to the roadmap that I am currently using for this series, as I did mention before, you guys can join my Discord server and either go to the Coding Helps chat, Python chat, or the general chat. Mention my name there at VivUniverse asking me for the roadmap. I will be DMing you guys the roadmap as soon as the stream is over. That said, I'll catch you guys next live stream or video. Peace. Okay,